practicing with a focus on Manipura or Solar Plexus chakra. The element associated with this chakra is fire, and the color is yellow or gold. The primary function of this chakra is the understanding of self. It is strongly connected with personality, identity, and willpower. Today's practice will target our core to light a fire in the belly and help give you sustained energy throughout the day. I hope you enjoy the practice, and let's get started. We'll start lying flat on our back. Take the first few moments of this practice to settle in and clear the mind of all thoughts. Give yourself permission to spend the next 30 minutes fully present and moving with the breath. Fill the lungs completely on each inhale and empty completely on each exhale. Inhale deeply, bring the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. And exhale, hug the knees into the chest, rocking from side to side. Loosen and release through the low back. Let go of any tension that you carry in this area. Then holding the left knee into the chest, begin to straighten the right foot to the sky. The knee can have a soft bend as you start to roll out through the ankle, first moving in a clockwise direction, and then switching to counterclockwise. Let the ankle return to neutral and point the toes up towards the sky. See if you can find a little lift and length through the leg, imagining a string tied around the big toe, lifting up and away from the hip. Then exhale to flex the toes back towards the chin, stretching through the back of the leg. Release and gently float the heel down towards the mat with the leg extended. Stop just before you reach the ground, letting the foot hover a foot or two from the mat. You should begin to feel the core activating here. Then release the knee, bring both the arms up to the sky, palms come together, and reach to the outside of the left knee, lifting both shoulder blades off of the floor. Now we'll pulse here 5 times. Lower and lift. Lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, and last one, lower and lift. Release and hug both knees in. Take a moment to reset, and we'll repeat on the opposite side. This time holding right knee in as you straighten the left heel up towards the sky. Right away, start those big circles to loosen up through the ankle, moving in both directions, first clockwise, and then switching to counterclockwise. Point the toes up to the sky, find that lift all the way from the hip to the heel, and then flex the toes to point back towards the chin, finding the deep stretch behind the leg. Release the stretch, slowly float the heel down towards the mat, stopping to hover a foot or two from the ground. Now moving on to the other side, bring the palms up overhead together and reach to the outside of the right knee. Hold for our first breath, and then pulsing 5 times, slow controlled movement, lower and lift. Lower, lift, lower, lift, and last one, lower and lift. Release it down, hug both the knees in to rock and reset, swaying from side to side. Then we'll come up to a seat You can either roll onto the side and support yourself to come up into table, or you can rock all the way up, swing the knees out, and come to meet in tabletop. Bring the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and start to warm up the spine, moving with the breath, inhaling in, open the chest, lift the chin, bend the back. Exhale, round the spine, drop the ears between the shoulders. Continue to move with your breath through a few cycles at your own pace. Listen to your body's intuition. Follow it to where it guides you, making any adjustments that you need today. Maybe look back over each shoulder, or make little circles with the hips, or just stay through center with our nice open cat-cows. One more breath, and return to flat back and table. Extend the right leg straight out and back, hips stay level. When you're stable, reach the left arm forward. Keep the belly pulled in and engaged to support the spine. Then exhale, squeeze elbow and knee together down the center line. Inhale to extend. 2 more times. Everything in and out. Elbow to knee and extend. Release, place the left hand down to the ground, then touch the right toes down to the ground with the legs still extended. From here, squeeze the left knee into the chest, then step back into plank. Bring the right knee in to the chest, step back to plank. Once more, left knee comes in, lower down to the ground, and step right knee in, return to table. Take a moment to reset, and we'll switch, repeating the sequence with the other side. Extend left leg straight out and back, hips level. Reach right arm forward. Hold for a breath, and then exhale, round, bring elbow to knee. Extend. 2 more times. Elbow and knee in and out. Everything in and extend. Place right hand down, left toes down. Lift right knee in, squeeze it into the chest, and step back to plank. Switch, left knee in, back to plank. Right knee in, release knee down to the mat, return to table. Curl the toes under, send the hips up and back, and find downward facing dog. Begin to pedal out through the feet, stretch through each leg one at a time. Find a few breaths of movement, exploring the shape. Then we'll settle into our first inversion, shoulders in line with the ears. Weight goes back from the hips towards the heels as the heels press down towards the floor. On your next inhale, rise up on the tips of your toes, ripple the spine forward, stack shoulders over wrists, and drop the hips into plank. Hold for a breath, and then reverse. Push away from the ground, send the hips back, and return to downward facing dog. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, ripple the spine forward, settle into plank, and hold. Reverse, downward facing dog. Last time, move forward into plank. Use your core to support you. Hold. And pull back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath. Inhale in. And exhale out. Inhale, lift the right leg. Keep the hips level. Then squeeze the knee in, guiding it forward to touch the right elbow. Lift it up and back, return to 3-legged dog. Again, this time we're going to squeeze the right knee in, twisting, guiding it towards the left elbow to hover. Then step back again, three-legged dog. Squeeze the knee in straight down through the center line, hugging it in tight to the chest. Then back up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the knee over the hip to open up. Then level out through the hips. Bring the knee through center one last time and step all the way up into low lunge. Pivot on the back foot to 45 degrees. Lift up and open the arms into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Hold for our first breath. Keep the belly engaged. Check to make sure that the back arm is even with the front arm. And check the rest of your foundation. On your next inhale, drop left arm to left leg. Lift right arm overhead into reverse warrior. And exhale forward into extended side angle. You can rest the elbow onto the top of the thigh as the left arm reaches over in line with the ear. Or for an extra added level of difficulty, you can also lift the right arm in line with the ear. Hold. Exhale to release the hands down, frame the foot, and step back into plank. Slowly lower all the way down to the belly. And then inhale, lift up for baby cobra. Exhale, release down to the mat. Curl the toes under and send the hips up and back into downward facing dog. We're starting to build a little heat through the core and body, and we'll continue by repeating the sequence on the other side. Inhaling to lift the left leg in the air, and exhale, squeeze left knee in to touch left elbow. Exhale to three-legged dog. Left knee comes in and across to touch right elbow, hover, and return to three-legged dog. And then in through the center line, squeezing the knee into the chest. Back to three-legged dog. Bend at the knee, stack the knee over the hip and open up. Then level out through the hips, squeeze the knee once more through center and step into low lunge. Pivot onto the back foot, reach down through the feet and lift up into Warrior 2. Once again, check that your arms are even, knee is over ankle, and knee tracks with the middle toe. Deep breath. Next, inhale into reverse warrior, right hand to right leg, left arm up and overhead. And exhale forward into the extended side angle. Again, you have the same options as before, elbow to thigh, or both arms extended in line with the ears. Release both hands down to the mat, step back and find plank. Either lower all the way to the belly and lift up into baby cobra like we did before, or lower halfway, bending at the elbows through chaturanga and inhaling into upward facing dog. Together, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Slowly walk the feet up to the front edge of the mat for forward fold. Let the crown of the head pull down toward the earth as you sway from side to side. Remember to breathe, releasing any tension in the low back. Shake the head loose from side to side. No tension in the neck or shoulders. Return to neutral and inhale, slowly roll up, arrive in Tadasana or mountain pose. Next breath, inhale both the arms up overhead and grab onto the right wrist. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky and tip open to the left, stretching through the side body. Return to center, switch your grip, left fingertips reach up and tip to the right. Come back to center, both arm reach up, option for a little back bend, and exhale, bow forward into forward fold. Moving with the breath, inhale halfway up, and exhale lower. Step or jump back into plank, hold for a breath. Lower into low plank by placing the right elbow where the right hand was, left elbow where left hand was. Hold. Return to high plank. First place the right hand and then the left. Hold. One more time, starting with the opposite side. First lower onto left elbow and then right elbow for low plank. And reverse. Left hand, right hand. Hold. Lower onto the knees and send the hips back to take a rest in child's pose. Take a few deep breaths and have a quick rest before we move into some more core exercises. Guide the breath down into the low back. Release the weight of the head forward. Then inhale to lift up, return to plank. We're going to move into side plank, and I'll give you options from low to high intensity. We'll start just by pivoting the feet to the left, shifting the weight to the left arm. If this is already feeling like a little too much, you can drop the left knee for support. Otherwise, we'll lift the right arm to the sky. To go deeper, you can stack the right foot on top of the left, or you can even lift the right leg into the air. Hold for one breath, and then we'll return to plank. We're going to switch to the other side, pivot the feet to the right. Same options as before, shifting the weight to the right hand. You can either place the knee down or lift the left arm to the sky. From there, you can stack the feet or lift the leg, and we'll hold for a breath. Then release back to plank. Hold strong, keep that belly engaged. Then lower onto the knees, release down to the belly, and inhale into baby cobra. Curl the toes under, send the hips up and back. Move into downward facing dog. Step or jump up to the front edge, find forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, palms come together overhead. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Inhale again, lifting the arms, moving with the breath to exhale forward into forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Once more, step or jump back into plank. And we'll lower onto the elbows for low plank. You can keep your forearms parallel or bring the hands together if it feels a little tight to the shoulders, and this will also help give you a little bit more stability. We're going to just dip the hips down to the right and hover, and then return to center. Dip the hips to the left, return to center. 2 more times on each side. Dip to the right, return to center, dip to the left, come to center. Last time, dip to the right, center, to the left, center. Lower onto the knees, release onto the belly, and bring the elbows under the shoulders into Sphinx. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Bring the fingertips off the edges of the mat with the thumbs pointed in towards the rib cage, the rest of the fingers tented. Inhale to lift up, and exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower, and release. Bring the hands back in tight next to the rib cage and push up into table. Bring the toes together and open the knees as wide as the mat. We're going to start a little cool down. Inhale to reach the right arm forward. As you exhale, reach under the left arm, slowly lower onto the right ear and right shoulder. Keep the hips in line with the knees, and then you can keep the left hand right where it's at, or you can reach it in line with the ear towards the top edge of the mat, or you can reach it behind the back to hook onto the right thigh. Take a deep breath. On your next exhale, slowly unravel, rise up, and return to table. Moving to the other side, left arm reaches forward, and then reach it down and under the right, lowering onto the ear and shoulder. Same options as before for the hand. Keep it right where it's at. Reach it overhead or behind the back. Big breath in. And on your next exhale, return to table. We'll swing the legs out to the side, bring yourself to the center of the mat, and we're going to move into Navasana, boat pose. Shift the weight back towards your tailbone and lift both the legs shin parallel with the sky. Then reach both arms forward. Hold here for the first breath. And then we're going to move 3 times into low boat. Slowly exhaling and extending the legs, lowering to the ground to hover, engaging the core. And then inhale to lift. 2 more. Exhale, lower and extend. Inhale, lift. And last time. Exhale, gently lower, slowly controlled. Inhale, squeeze everything together, bring it back up. Gently release, roll onto the low back, hug the knees in, and rock from side to side. Then we're going to drop both the feet to the floor, walk the heels in, bring the hands to the sides of the body, preparing for bridge pose. We're going to repeat this 3 times with different options of intensity for each one. So first, we're just going to push evenly through the feet and lift the hips up towards the sky. Pay attention to your knees. You want to keep them in line with the hips. The body naturally often wants to pull them open here. We don't want the thighs touching or zipped together, but we do want to keep them in line with the hips and parallel. Hold for a breath. And exhale, slowly lower back down to the mat. Wiggle the hips a little from side to side to release and reset. And then we'll prepare for our second bridge, starting just the way we did before. Hands at the sides, pushing evenly through the feet to lift the hips up to the sky. And to take it deeper, begin to squeeze the shoulder blades together, walking the elbows in underneath you, even bringing hands to clasp. All this should help give you a little extra lift. And remember to stay mindful of your knees and breathe. Next, exhale, slowly lower down and rock the hips from side to side, releasing again before we move into our last bridge. Take a deep breath, walk the heels in, and push up into our final bridge. Then, keeping the leg extended and the thighs parallel, we're going to lift the left heel. Release, lower it down, and switch. Lift right leg, keeping the thighs in line. And release. 2 more times, left leg. Lower and right. Lower, last time, left leg lifts, squeeze together. Lower, right leg extends, engage the core, and release. Slowly lower all the way down, and gently hug the knees into the chest. Release through the low back. Then drop both feet to the floor. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh and hug the knee in for reclined pigeon or figure 4, stretching through the hip, keeping both feet flexed. Hold for a breath or 2. And then gently release to switch. Right ankle over left. Lift the left leg in. Use the breath to move deeper into the stretch. Open through the hip. Nice deep breath in. And exhale. Release both the feet to the floor. Walk the feet to the edges of the mat. Let your hands fall wherever is comfortable. And we're going to drop both the knees over to the right side. Hold for 2 deep breaths. Inhale in. Exhale. Surrender. Inhale once more. And exhale. Release. Bring the knees back into center. We're going to let them both fall over to the left this side. And hold again for 2 breaths. Inhale in deeply. Exhale, release slowly. Inhale in again. And exhale, return both knees to center. Extend the legs and find Shavasana. Bring the right hand to the belly, left hand to the heart. Close the eyes and connect to your breath. Feel the heat we've created, the temperature of our body beneath our hands. Feel the rhythm of the breath. Honor your body for carrying you through this practice, through this life, and being a vessel for all of our experiences. Feel the breath as it moves through the body, filling the lungs, and then the belly, and then emptying completely. We'll take a moment together here in silence, feeling the breath in complete awareness. You can stay in Shavasana if you prefer, or you can begin to roll over onto the side, and we'll meet in Sukhasana to close our practice. Bring the hands together at the heart, bow the head forward. Thank you for taking the time to practice with me today, to honor and activate our Manipura chakra, and inviting fire into our body to give us energy throughout the day. Namaste.